At AlphaHouse, we also talk a lot about the power of language, and this is difficult. I mean, it's difficult when we're talking about, when there's no language barrier. For folks who maybe English is their second language, it can be even more difficult to move away from some of these, some of the language that we kind of see in society that isn't good. So pretty much all of the ones on the screen here, we try not to use words like that, right? Getting a fix or shooting up, calling somebody a junkie or an addict, using the term bums. We try to move away from that language because it can be both really, really harmful for a person, for another human, to hear about themselves being spoken as, oh, that's just a junkie, or we've heard the dirty people, we want to get the dirty people out of the area. That's really, really harmful to hear as a person, right? If you were think about if someone were to say that about you, how harmful that would be. The other side of it is the way we talk about something influences our behavior about something. So if we're constantly thinking about people on the street as bums or addicts or, dirty, then that's going to impact our interactions with those individuals, right? We're going to have a more negative approach to individuals on the street if we're in the back of our head thinking of them as not the same as us, as less than us, right? We're going to have a more negative interaction with them. So it's really, really important when we talk about, even in our heads, when we're thinking about homelessness or folks on the street, or when we're talking about it with friends or colleagues or things like that, to have more positive language. So at AlphaHouse, we always talk about it being person first. So we say a person experiencing homelessness as opposed to a homeless person, right? We say a person who uses substances or a person struggling with addiction as opposed to an addict, right? Again, it helps to humanize the individual. And the more you can humanize somebody, the better you are going to be at interacting with them, right? Because you're going to see them as fully human. You're going to have a more positive interaction. So that's very, very important. When we talk about engagement with AlphaHouse, we talk a lot about the obligations of the citizen, or somebody who's passing by, or etc. And when we talk about that obligation, we talk about agency. So agency just refers to whether you have kind of the choice to engage or not to engage. And so the point of this kind of workshop or this conversation is not to force you to engage with everybody that you see on the street, right? The goal is to make you more comfortable engaging with folks, but you still have the choice as whether or not you want to engage with somebody. And in the same way that you have that choice, the person on the street also has the choice whether or not to engage with you. So sometimes we hear from people that they get frustrated, oh, I tried to say hello to them, or, I tried to, go over and see if they needed anything, and they were really rude to me. And while, we don't want somebody to be rude to you, we have to understand that somebody who's on the street, who's maybe really used to being, pushed around by police or told to leave the area, or, we don't want you here, they're really used to that. Sometimes they can get, that can be very upsetting and very frustrating. And so they're rude as opposed to, having a positive interaction, because to them, you sound like everybody else who's kind of been rude to them, right? And again, it doesn't excuse it. We don't want anybody, we shouldn't really ever be rude. We should always kind of be civil to strangers, to each other, etc. But we do have to recognize that you have the choice of whether or not to look or smile or talk to somebody, and somebody on the street also has the choice of whether or not to talk to you as well.